Okay, if you are early in the denture process, meaning you haven't even started yet, you know that you are in need of likely dentures because you're kind of coming to a crossroad and you're looking for solutions. I want to encourage you and just equip you with information to be asking the right things, getting the right information, so that way you feel confident about the choices that you're making and the decision process because it can be a lot. It's a lot of information. It can be overwhelming. There's a lot of emotion tied with the process as well. So today's video is 5 questions that you really should be asking your dentist, whether it's a new dentist or a dentist that you've had for a while. But 5 main questions that you should be asking to really get the answers that you're looking for and to feel confident about moving forward with that dentist in your denture journey. So the first question to ask him or her is if they have advanced training when it comes to making dentures, whether that's from the surgical standpoint and extraction of the teeth, or whether it's making the denture itself. Sometimes it's a combination of the two, but really asking the dentist if they have the skill set necessary to make the dentures appropriately to where they're obviously aesthetic, to where they look and feel like your teeth, but more importantly, that they're functional. Now, there's a lot of dynamics that play into that, but really asking the dentist specifically if they feel comfortable and confident treating your case specifically is really one of the main questions. And don't be afraid to ask that question. You'll kind of get a feel pretty quickly if they feel confident that they can meet your goals. And if not, that's okay. Keep looking for a different dentist until you get the feeling that you're in the right place. Now, the second question, I really feel like this is a really important question, is knowing all of your options. So ask the dentist specifically, what are all of my options on the table? Whether it's just dentures, sometimes that is the only option, but other options can be having some implants placed and having a snap-on denture, which is called an overdenture, or an alternative option could be having multiple implants placed and having an implant bridge. But even if it's something to where financially it's not feasible, knowing all of the options on the table, the pros and the cons that go with each of those options, really, again, equips you with the information. I really think that information is power for you to confidently step forward and make the right decision. Now, another main question that I encourage patients to ask is, what if there's problems along the way? How do you, as the dentist, plan to address those problems and fix those issues? Because not every case is a straightforward case. And I think knowing what the potential issues for your specific case are early on before the process even starts, and how the dentist answers those questions, and if they feel like they can confidently navigate the ins and outs of your specific case, again, will help give you the confidence to know if this is the right dentist for you or not. Another question that I encourage people to ask is, how involved am I, the patient, in the denture making process? Now, there's lots of steps along the way. I know the steps that I take when I make dentures for my patients, and I think that it's very, very important that you, the patient, the person whose teeth these are becoming, are very involved in that process, from the selection of the denture teeth, from the size, the color, the positioning, all the different variables that play into um, your specific set of teeth. I think it's important to know if you're involved in that process or not. Sometimes patients don't want to be very involved. Other times, and I see this more commonly than not, is that you do want to be involved. They are your teeth, and you want some say as to all the different dynamics that you prefer, from the size of the teeth, the color of the teeth, the position of the teeth. All of those are really important questions to ask. And again, it's important to know that before you start the process and potentially get to a phase where you feel like you're not involved and you're not part of the conversation. Again, those are things to identify sooner rather than later. And the last big question I ask is, or I tell patients to ask, is, will I be able to see the teeth um, prior to the final fabrication of them? What that means is, when it comes to how I make dentures, I allow my patients to actually see the dentures. They're positioned in wax. That way, you're able to still position and move teeth if necessary, but you will actually be able to see what the denture teeth will look like before you go home with them. That way, if there's any corrections that need to be made, whether it's to the bite, to the aesthetics. Those can all be identified and worked out before the final denture is processed and given to you as the end result. So again, there's lots of nuances to that. Those are just kind of the top 5 questions that I encourage people to ask. Again, this is solely just straight information in normal conversations that I have with people every day. And again, I just really want to encourage you to ask the right questions, find the right dentist for you, and don't be afraid to ask really uncomfortable questions. I think having those answers before you start, again, just gives you the confidence to move forward and make the right decision for you. And don't be afraid to get multiple opinions. I think visiting with multiple different dentists is just a good way of just getting all the information that you need. So if you found this helpful, I do have a free guide that I've created that has even more questions. The topic of the guide is really kind of how to choose the right dentist for you. If you feel like that would be useful or helpful for you, shoot a comment in the comment section. Just write free guide or say, hey, send me the guide, and I'll send you a link to go ahead and download that free guide. Until next time, thank you. Bye.